What we'll just do is start with pretending we don't know each other. Just introduce yourself like you would introduce yourself to me. You know, who are you, what do you do, and what is VB40?
I'm JJ Morrell, and I'm the president of Veterans Back 40 Adventure.
And what is Veterans Back 40 Adventure?
That's a great question. So Veterans Back 40 Adventure is a group that was conceived and designed around getting veterans kind of off the couch, out of their homes, and out into nature via adventure and dual sport motorcycles. We call it dirt therapy and campfire therapy. I call it throttle therapy. That, the idea is to get those folks out and back into the world, get them out of their own heads. The idea and the big push is combating veteran active duty suicide. Veterans Back 40 was started in 2016 by two brothers, Morgan and Brian Northrup. And the whole concept was, what can we do for veterans to help them out? They were both into motorcycles, and they figured this was kind of a good way to do that. I want to say Morgan had a friend that committed suicide, so what do we do to fight that? He moved out east, and he's doing some nonprofit work out there. But we have a whole new group now, and we're chugging along with the original mission.
How big is it from a staff standpoint?
The staff are six individuals. We're all volunteer. We're all veterans.
And all part-time?
Yeah.
There's no full-time employee?
Right. There's no full-time employees. Yeah. All the money goes into providing the veterans with the experience.
And so what does VB40 do?
So there's two major kind of trips that we put together. One is an internal experience, if you will. Invite the veterans out. We get the campsites, bring the food, all of it. And those are normally 2 to 3 day trips. And we have a spring kickoff, and then we have an end of year event. And if we can, we squeeze in another one during the summer months. Our best received event has been Priest Hole, and it's out in the John Day Wilderness in Central Oregon. And we ride into the campsite, set up camp, and just that, you talk about a special experience, sitting around that campfire at night after a day of riding around and getting through some of the challenges that we find, river crossings and whatnot. Just doing that as a team and reinvigorating that team aspect, that team feel. And then you get around the fire at night and you get some special stories coming out.
That's probably one of the hardest things to explain to people who have never been in the military is how, the military is such a mission-focused organization. Regardless of what branch you were in or what job you held when you were in the military, we're all accustomed to that, having a task. And so I think that's where VB40 and other veterans organizations do really good of creating a mission for veterans to get behind.
I would say the other type of experience that we provide, the big one we do is Giant Loop. So there's a Giant Loop ride every year, and that's hosted by the Giant Loop company.
Because you guys have been going to that since 6 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, I want to say 6, 7 years. And so Giant Loop helps us out because they provide spots. We set up the campsite and share that experience with them, and then we help kind of staff the event with Giant Loop and take the vets out on rides, and again, sit by the campfire at night.
I mean, because you'll sponsor anywhere from 6 to 20 veterans to just come to that event as riders and enjoy the event. Yeah. We've definitely had some really funny interactions around the campfire with people who have come by and not known that we were all veterans until they were there and been like, oh, this is what you guys are like.
Yeah, indeed. I gotta say, it's veterans at their finest, if you will.
It's veterans in their purest state.
Yeah, right. And what's cool about it is there's just this instant bond. So I don't know you from Adam, but I know that you're my brother and I got your back while we're out on the bikes.
What is advantageous about getting veterans out on motorcycles, and what is advantageous about getting veterans out into the backcountry?
Good. Yeah, I think that's good questions. So for me, I've actually only been riding just a few years, and it was one of our board members, Sean Dashler, who got me involved. As soon as I got on the bike, it's like everything releases. there's this ability to literally take the backpack off, set it down. You leave all your worries, you leave everything else behind while you're on the bike. Being out in nature and not crowded by the city and the noises and the people and all the things.
Crowds for veterans is really tough.
Yeah, the things that tend to be a burden on your psyche. And you're out and you're with nature, and it just feels good, you know, and there's space.
So how did we get to know each other?
Did we get to know each other?
Tuck.
Yeah, it was Tuck.
Because I got to talking with John,
Yeah.
who was organizing the trip to Tuck.
Yeah.
When I first reached out to him, I was pretty much one of those things of, I'd love to go, but I'm also just willing to help you and then potentially edit footage for you when you get back.
Originally, we were looking at you to be the videographer.
I was gonna be, yeah, and then we realized that it was too much. It was too much to do all of those different things. And so then we started looking for videographers, and then I was actually the one who reached out to Grace and was just like, hey, crazy idea. Do you want to try and come with us in like a month and a half and go to the Arctic? And she's like, yeah, sure, but let me see what I can figure out.
So, and I got to give a quick shout out to Alex Chacon and Grace Schuessler.
They were so on board.
Yeah, you guys, they killed it. I think I finally met you in person the day you guys took off.
I think the first time we met was at Giant Loop.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And so what was that trip and why?
Yeah, so the Tuck trip, also known as Embrace the Tuck.
Which is what?
So it's the play on the military phrasing of embrace the suck. The idea was to take veterans who had been impacted by veteran active duty suicide and get them to tell their stories while on a mission. So, launched you guys out from Astoria.
Yeah, right there at the Coast Guard station.
Yeah, got to give props to the Coast Guard. They showed up huge.
That station commander was on board in a big way. Like everybody was just super supportive.
Yep. And we had one active duty. Was Tommy active?
No, his wife is.
That's right, his wife is. But we had one active duty guy, Carl. Gotta love Carl. Props to Carl.
Yeah, it was an eclectic group. The only one we didn't have is we didn't have anybody from the Air Force.
You didn't have a Navy guy.
Well, Department of the Navy.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Marines always ride Navy equipment.
No, the men's department.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
But the Coast Guard was a major component of that trip, which was just kind of funny.
But they had experienced 3 suicides
In like a really short period of time.
in less than a year.
We talk about it in the film, but I don't think there is a veteran out there who has not known someone who has committed suicide. It's 100%. And that was also the idea of the film, is make sure that non-veterans, non-military understand that.
Yeah.
Because
It's an epidemic. There's no way to describe it. It really is. Yeah. And if what VB40 does can help alleviate some of that and give these guys an outlet and help them, oh my gosh. And at almost every event, at least one guy, there's always one that comes up and, is over the top. Oh my God, thank you. I needed this so much.
you've saved people's lives. The VB40 as an organization has stopped people from committing suicide. One of the guys on the Tuck trip, he had no interactions with VB40 before. Lily just got to know, I don't even remember how we got connected with him. And it made the most difference for him out of anybody on that trip. It completely changed his life.
Yeah. I just wish I could have gone on the trip.
Yeah, 25 days away is a long time, which we can talk about that too, of most of the trips that VB40 does are, 3 days, a long weekend. Yeah. This was the biggest trip you guys had ever done. Yeah. And it's not likely that you're going to try and expand that into more expeditions of that nature, whereas getting 10 veterans together for 3 days over a long weekend or something, it helps more people because you can do more of them, and it's much less complicated.
Yeah. And the other thing we do too is just day rides.
Yeah.
You know, we'll just throw it out. Hey, we're gonna go, we're gonna go around Mount St. Helens and back or whatever. You know.
What are the plans for the future? Where do you see VB40 going, and then where do you want it to go?
You run into you want to be a big fish in a little pond, a little fish in a big pond. Right now we're kind of a little fish in a little pond. You know, and I have heard complaints. Hey, you guys are too niche. Well,
That's kind of the point, though.
and it's exactly the point. There's so many groups. There's so many veterans groups, and you know, there's a bunch of groups focused on fishing and hunting and outdoors and this and that. And there's groups focused on motorcycle riding. What we do is it's niche, sure.
But there's room for everybody.
There's room for everyone, and yeah, we're niche, but we're answering a need. I would say as far as VB40 as a group, you know, we don't have a membership. That's not what we're about. We're not a club. We're not looking to do chapters or any of that stuff. I think if we were to get any bigger, we would eventually have to go from a true nonprofit to a not-for-profit status, have to hire staff. But I think our group right now, we're satisfied with what we are. As far as other trips, you know, to your point, if you try to do too many of those big type trips, it kind of waters things down, right? It takes away from it. We have discussed putting together a different type of adventure trip for veterans. I won't tip my hat exactly to what that is just yet, but we're looking at a few different things.
Anything else that you want to talk about, want to address about VB40 or veterans in general?
I would just say, you know, if you're a veteran and you're not having a good day and you don't have anyone else to call, dial 988. Hit the crisis line. There's no shame in that. You shouldn't feel bad about it. If it gives you somebody to talk to, somebody who's trained in helping you work through whatever it is you're facing. If you do have people that you rely on, don't be afraid to call them. You know, and buddy checks, man. I believe in the buddy check. You know somebody's going through a hard time. You know, I just lost my dad 2 weeks ago, and I had guys checking in on me the whole time.
I mean, we've both been there, but you know, other veterans have been there. They understand it, but also at the same time, somebody in your life wants you to be there. Yeah. And when you're in that place, that's the last thing you want to think about. You think that nobody gives a shit and no one's even going to notice if you're gone, and that's a flat out lie. Yeah. Someone in your life will miss you if you are gone. You have to think about that, because that will get you to make that phone call. Yeah. Or something, anything. Reach out to anybody, because they will stop you. Where can people find out more about VB40? How do they find you and get in touch if they want to be involved?
Yeah. So if you just do a Google search for Veterans Back 40 Adventure, and our website is actually www.vb40, the number 40, adv.org. Yeah. Not .com, .org. So yeah, we're going to get silent battles.
Oh, onto your YouTube? Yeah. Good. Because right now it's just on Grace's. Yeah. You might have seen it at Tour Attack.
You might have seen it at Tour Attack. And then you can always go to YouTube and just, you know, type in silent battles.
Yep, it's one of the first things that comes up.
Yep.
Well, cool. Anything else that you want to talk about or mention?
No, I do want to give a shout out to Sean and John and Greg and Jake and Brian.
The crew at VB40 and the women behind them really, you know, they all have lives.
You know, we missed soccer games and plays and school functions and whatnot and summer camps, and that's what it's
That's
about.
veterans.
Right.
That's what veterans do.
Right, it's what we do. yeah, that's about it.
Cool. All right. Oh, it's nice to know you. It's nice that I was able to get involved with you guys.